Hello students, good morning. It's me, Teacher Chienna, and welcome to our online learning. All right, so this week's gonna be the third week of July, and we're still doing the online learning. But so today we're gonna have a new lesson or new topic to be discussed. And before we go to our discussion, let's watch this video.
Hey boys and girls, do you remember the 6 rules of our classroom? Let's see if we can review them. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy. Well, the first little rule has to do with our voice. If you have something to say, raise your hand and wait to speak. That's the respectful way. Well, the second little rule has to do with our feet, how we get from here to there. Walk in school, don't run or skip, you might trip over a chair. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy. Well, the third little rule has to do with the heart. It's how we treat our friends. Be nice, don't be a bully now. Don't be mean to them. Well, the fourth little rule has to do with our bodies. Everything has its place. Keep your hands and feet to yourself. Don't touch your neighbor's space. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy. Well, the fifth little rule has to do with our work. When it comes to it, and clean up all the time. Please don't leave a mess. Well, the sixth little rule has to do with our eyes. When a person talks in the school day, look at the speaker all the time. Respect what they have to say. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy.
All right, so welcome back, students. I hope you liked the video that you have watched. And now let's go to our proper discussion. All right, so our lesson for today is all about classroom rules or classroom languages, okay? So to start with, this is a classroom, okay? So when you go to school, we have our own classroom, right? So in the picture, it shows a simple arrangement of a classroom. Okay, so a classroom consists of a teacher, of course. The teacher goes to school, and then it's the teacher who teaches you with a lesson, right? So there's a teacher, and then, of course, there are the students, the students. Okay, so in the classroom, we have the teacher and the students. Okay, and now here are the things that we should do in the classroom. Okay, so example number 1, we have to behave. Okay, so you have to behave in the classroom, of course, and then listen. So most specifically, you have to listen to your teacher. Okay, and then you have to wait for your turn. Okay, wait for your turn. If there's something that you need to get outside, or you need to get in front, you have to wait for your turn. Okay, and then of course we have respect. You have to respect your classmates and of course your teacher and the other teachers at school. And lastly, you have to ask permission. All right, so today's lesson, we're gonna focus on asking permission and waiting for your turn. Okay, so here are the 5 basic classroom rules that we need to follow. Number 1 is behave. Number 2 is listen. Number 3 is wait for your turn. Number 4 is respect, of course, and lastly, asking permission. Okay, so here is the example of the things that you do in the classroom. Okay, so if the teacher is teaching, you are sitting down. Okay, so you don't need to talk, you don't need to stand up. Students usually sit down, right, when the teacher is teaching. All right, so I have here 2 pictures of the students who are sitting down. So which one do you think is the wrong or improper way of sitting down? Do you think the first picture or the second picture? All right, so it's very obvious. It's the first picture. All right, so when sitting down, you have to sit properly. Okay, it's not only that you're showing respect, but also you are helping your body or making your body sitting properly or sitting erect in the in your chair. Okay, so this is sit down. Okay, next one, the opposite of sit down is to stand up. Okay, so when are you gonna stand up if you're in the classroom? Let's say the teacher is teaching and you're going to stand up if the teacher is calling you out, like she or he will call a name and then ask you to stand up. So that's the time that you're going to stand up. So in the classroom, you're not allowed to just stand up anytime you want. So here on your screen, you can see two pictures. Which one is the proper way of standing up? Is it the first picture or the second picture? All right, so it's the first picture. Okay, so the second picture is the wrong one. Okay, so it's improper because in the second picture, it shows that the girl is standing on her chair. Okay, so the first picture is showing the proper way of standing up if you are in the classroom. Okay, next one we have reading a book. Okay, so usually when you go to school, you have your notebook, right? Notebook and books, of course. So first picture showing that the girl is reading the book, and the second picture, the boy is ripping one of the pages of the book. Okay, so the proper way of reading is the first picture. Okay, so the second picture is wrong. Okay, it's bad if you are ripping your the pages of your books or notebooks. Okay, next one, the next picture is showing how to open your book. Okay, so let's say you're in the classroom and then the teacher asks you to open your book on page. So there's a specific page. Okay, so you have to follow your teacher. Okay, so this is open your book. Okay, next one is writing. Okay, I know writing in Thai, it's Kian. Okay, very good. So writing in Thai is Kian. So usually when you go to K2, K3 and up, the teacher will ask you to write, especially your name, your class, and the day-to-day. So for writing, you need your notebook or paper, and then you have your pencil. And for the upper classmen, they have their ball pens. Okay, so paper, pencil, and pens. This is writing. Okay, next one is raising your hand or raising a hand. So usually the students, you raise your hand if the teacher is asking a question and you want to answer it, and sometimes you raise your hand when you want to say something and if you want to ask permission. Okay, so asking permission while the teacher is teaching, you have to raise your hand. You're not allowed to just shout like I want to go to the bathroom or I want to go to the toilet. You have to raise your hand to show respect to your teacher. Okay, so this is raising a hand or raising your hand. Okay, all right, so here are some classroom languages that you should practice. Okay, so number one is when you raise your hand, usually you want to stand up. Number one is may I stand up? Okay, so here's the teacher and there's the student. So you raise your hand and then you ask it properly. So you start with teacher, may I stand up please? Okay, so you're asking a question if you can stand up or if you may stand up, and then the teacher will respond, yes, you may. Okay, so that means you're allowed to stand up. Okay, next one is may I go to the toilet? So this is very common at school, right? So the teacher and the students. So you ask teacher, may I go to the toilet please? Okay, so in Thai you want to go to Pai Hong Nam. Usually you say that. So if you want to go to the toilet, you say teacher, may I go to the toilet, please? Okay, and then the teacher will respond, yes, you may. Okay, so usually in the classroom, it's one at a time, to one student at a time. Okay, it's not by group when you go to the toilet. Okay, and then we have number 3. Can I open the window? Okay, so in our classroom setting, in our real school, usually we open the window, right? But it's too windy, we usually close it. So when you can ask permission if you want to open the window. So you will say, teacher, can I open the window, please? Okay, again, teacher, can I open the window, please? And of course, you wait for the teacher to respond, yes, you can. Okay. And then next is, can I answer the question? Okay, so here comes the question and answer portion inside the classroom. Okay, so if the teacher is discussing a certain topic, and then later on, he or she will ask a question. So usually some students, they know the answer, and then of course you have to raise your hand and you'll wait for the teacher to call you out or to point you or call your name to answer the question. Okay, so here's you're gonna say, teacher, can I answer the question? Or you can say, teacher, I know the answer. Okay, and then the teacher will call your name, and then yes, you can answer that question. Okay, and all right, so that would be it. And we're gonna have a very short activity for our classroom rules or languages about this topic. So I have here, the activity is very easy. So you have to identify the following pictures. Okay, so I just used the same pictures on my previous slides. So we have 6 items, and then inside the box you are going to choose the correct answer. Okay, so number 1 is you can see that the boy has a notebook and a pencil. Okay, so what do you think the boy is doing? The boy is writing. Very good, Kian. Okay, so the boy is writing. Very good. Number 2 is you can see that the girl is sitting down, and then of course the girl is okay, sit down. Okay, so the correct answer for number 2 is sit down. Okay, and then I think sit down in Thai is nang long. Okay, and number 3, you can see that the girl is, what's the answer for number 3? Standing. Okay, the girl is standing. Very good. Number 4, it's very obvious. Okay, so the boy is raising his hand. Very good. Okay, raising of hand. And then number 5, you can see that the girl she has a book. She is opening or closing her book. Of course, okay, there's an arrow pointing. So the girl is opening her book. Okay, so open your book. And then lastly, number 6, it's reading a book. Very good. All right, so let's familiarize the answers for our activity today. So number 1 is writing. Number 2 is sit down. Number 3 is standing. Number 4 is raising of hand. Number 5, open your book. And lastly, number 6 is reading a book. All right, very good. All right, so thank you so much, students, for listening to me today and participating. So again, today we have learned about different classroom languages and classroom rules. All right, so I hope that we're gonna see I'm gonna see you all again when we come back to school and practice these rules in the classroom. Okay, so I hope you had a great time and enjoyed today's discussion, and see you all in our live class and next week. All right, so goodbye. Thank you.